So unfortunately, lately, anxiety has been kind of running my life. And do I know the reason for it? No, I do not. And I think sometimes it might be because I kind of am trying to find my purpose in life, what I'm supposed to be doing, and I currently don't know what that's supposed to be or what it's supposed to look like. It creates this bubble of anxiety and take over a big part of my life. It's just a whole process, a lot of things going on in my head. I think it's especially hard in today's society when do as much stuff as possible in order to get to where we want to be. We're just kind of like thrown into the open and just being like, make it work. How am I supposed to make it work when I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing? And the thing is that mental health is so important, and yet we are not shown or taught how to make our mental health better, how to express ourselves. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, mental health, I guess it's a thing, but you still have to go through the process of life and just push through it. So because my anxiety has been so horrible, I wanted to take you on the steps that I take in order to help regulate my system that really actually help and will kind of take you from ground zero and say, okay, I feel better today. I feel like I can actually be a human being and I can push through. Because there are times when I get up and I have so much anxiety that I cannot even function. Like I am just crippled with overthinking, with thoughts, and I need help sometimes. And so I have found some things that have helped. A few things that have actually helped me, honestly, have been freezing cold water. I will either go in the kitchen, take a big bowl, and put cold water in there and then add ice cubes in, because you want to make as cold as humanly possible. Once I do that, I let everything sit, and once I feel like it is a good cold temperature, I will dunk my face in. Now I have a little bit of an issue when it comes to keeping my face underwater without holding my nose. I feel like I'm drowning. I feel like everything's going up my nose, so I just dunk my face while I'm breathing out, and I do this several times, probably over 30 seconds to a minute, and I give myself some break and I just keep dunking my face. This definitely regulates my system pretty quickly, and I'm just like sometimes very shocked at how this works. I would say last week I was having a hard time and I didn't realize that I needed to regulate my system, and so that when I finally decided that I needed to and I was like, let me just try this, it was like, whoa, why didn't I not think of this sooner? It's almost like my brain goes into this different realm where I'm just like, I don't know what to do, and I'm start freaking out, and I'm just like, there's no thinking past that. So I just gotta remember that I have tools in my toolkit that I can use in order to help regulate myself. Another thing that has helped is, which this one's a lot, but turning on your shower freezing cold. The coldest it can go, wait a little bit, make sure it is freezing, and then you're gonna jump in that water. You're not gonna worry about it, you're gonna jump, because your body is like, what the heck is going on? It's a little more invasive because it's gonna be your whole self versus just your face. So if one doesn't work, try the other. Unfortunately, one might work better for you than the other, so you do what you gotta do. Now, another good way to shock your system would be to take a lemon or a lime or something that's gonna be really citrusy in your mouth, that's going to freak you out. You're gonna cut that up and you're going to bite on it. So lemons are really good and limes are really good. Your body is gonna focus on that instead of focusing on whatever is going on in your brain and help yourself regulate. So well, that could be unpleasant. It might be a better one than just jumping in the shower. You know, trial and error. You gotta figure out what works for you. Also, if, let's say I'm not home and I can't do these things particularly all at once, or try different things, because jumping in a shower is not something that you can do when you're not home. So I like to use the 5 senses in order to help myself and hope that this will help regulate myself. Does it always work for me? No, but it's also another tool in my toolkit if I'm not able to grab for the other things that I know will 100% work for me. So what this entails is basically looking at your 5 senses: your smell, your taste, your sight, your hearing, and your touch. So you're going to list 3 things in regards to what you can take, what you can see, what you can feel, what you can hear, and what you can smell. This will help you focus in on those small things that are around you and pull you back into the present instead of being wrapped up in your head and thinking about 500 million things that are making you anxious. So this will help regulate yourself in that way. Sometimes though, I feel like if I'm too far gone, like if my anxiety is at 1,000,000, it might not work. If my anxiety is at a 10, it might work. So it's all depends on yourself. And also sometimes I have to repeat this step over and over and over again until I'm starting to actually pull myself back into reality and not going too far into somewhere else that my brain is not supposed to be at. Yoga and meditation is also a big one for me because I am so focused on that present moment and trying to either focus on nothing through meditation, or if I'm doing yoga and trying to focus on the poses and the movements and listening to an instructor, my brain gets pulled into the now. And it's not thinking about all the things that are happening or going to happen or might happen and all that stuff. And even for some reason, especially for me after yoga, I have a complete calm within my body, within my head. It doesn't always last as long as I'd particularly like it to be, but it's very noticeable because when I leave the yoga studio, my brain is very quiet. It's almost like I'm walking down the street and so noticeably quiet that I notice it every single time. And then I realize how much my brain has been going for so long and for so many days that after my yoga classes, I'm like, wow, am I okay? Because for once, every couple days that I take my yoga classes, I'm able to not hear myself think and have a quiet mind. And I'm sure medication would do this for you too, if that's what you decide that you need to take. But for me, this is something that while it doesn't last particularly long, it's something that helps in the moment and brings me back to reality. And speaking of medicine, because I'm not particularly fond of it, if it works for you and it helps you, that's what you want to do, that's your decisions. But for me, I feel like things react to me in a negative way, and I just don't like putting things in my body that I don't know what they do or I don't know that they're natural, and that's a whole other topic. But personally, I try to find natural methods in order to help myself versus just going for pills. And also, I feel like when I have gone to doctors, they're just kind of like, here, take this, try this, instead of trying to actually diagnose me with something. So I would rather take that into my own hands and figure things out myself. So what I have found to be a big help has definitely been taking magnesium glycinate. I don't take much. This one is 400 milligrams. So supposedly you're supposed to take women up to like 350 milligrams a day, and you don't really have to worry about it. I have gone to the doctor since taking it after a good amount of months just for them to check my blood work, to check that I don't have too high levels, and I don't, so I'm not worried about it. I have taken the steps to make sure that what I'm doing is correct. But magnesium has kind of been a lifesaver. I feel like it helps regulate everything, and I don't have the type of anxiety that I used to. I still do get like spurts of really bad anxiety, definitely what I had this past week, but it has helped to the point where my anxiety is way more tolerable, and for that I am extremely grateful. I don't think that is the only thing that plays a part in it. It's all the things that I've been doing, all the things that I've been using to help myself. And one of the last things that I feel like has really helped with my anxiety is having hobbies, doing things that I really like to do. Yoga is one of them, but we talked about yoga. Aside from that, reading, because it takes me out of my current situation, current life, and it brings me into a different world where my brain has to focus on one, what I'm reading, and two, building the world in my head so I can visually see this world, which I think is a cool thing about it. Watching movies as well, making YouTube videos, or whatever you really like to do that takes time and takes you out of your own head. Video games, or going for a walk, going for a run, going to the gym. Things that are your hobbies that you really like to do, because you can get yourself into a rut and then it can cause other things like depression and stuff like that. So having hobbies, I feel, gives you purpose, and so that's one less thing to have anxiety about, is where you're going, what you're doing. You can still stress and be like, what the heck am I doing with my life? Because I still definitely do that, but having hobbies kind of fills up my day in a way that I have less time to stress and think about the things that are giving me anxiety, because I have so much going on that I'm just like, I just don't have time to think, because I have to go here, I have to do this, I have to do that. So once you take yourself out of your like sitting rot and just like being on your phone and scrolling and actually having hobbies, it is a lifesaver. It's a big change. So if you made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a like, subscribe down below, and hope some of these tips will help you with your anxiety, with your overthinking. So I will see you guys in my next video, and we'll probably get back to our regularly scheduled vlog. So see you guys.